we've got C major 7, and I'm going to make a melody using E minor pentatonic. Just that. Okay. You can hear that's a nice little melodic idea to play on a C major 7. We can think of ways to add harmony to this, as if we were composing or as if this was a choir. So you've got this. Something you can do is harmonize it using intervals. So let's say diatonic fifths. So I have this, and I'm going. So what I could do is I could say, that's a nice way to harmonize it. So that's a beautiful harmony. So you see that melody note, the melody is at the top, and I'm just adding a fifth below. And that's a very cool sound. So if you think about it, okay, I used fifths below to harmonize this melody. I could choose any interval. I could say, what about thirds? So instead of this, I could say this. So we had this simple melody, and then I harmonized it with fifths, and now I'm saying I'm going to harmonize it with thirds. Okay, so now my groove becomes that. And that's a nice way to harmonize with thirds. What about sixths? Okay, so now this could become. Six is a very sweet sounding interval. Listen to that. So we went from this to this to this, and now you can hear sixths is like quite a melancholy sound. It's very beautiful. So now you can have. Now that becomes your fill or your bass line. Like, that's a cool sounding bass line. We could do it with a whole bunch of different intervals. That's one way to play your sixes. But you can also play like there where you skip a string. It's the same interval, but it's a different way to play it. So some of you might prefer that shape of a sixth. Now, something cool to mention here is I'm harmonizing my melody with 2 notes. We could do it with 3 notes. So almost a triad, okay, or 3 voices. Instead of thinking you're only going to harmonize with 1 interval below the melody, we could think of we have 3 singers. Now we're going to harmonize the melody with 2 other notes. Okay, so instead of this, we did the sixes like this. I could play this. Now I have a 3-note melody. I have 3 voices all at the same time with the melody note at the top. So remember, we started with this melody, and I said, let's harmonize with intervals below the melody, fifth. Okay, I said thirds. I said sixths. And now I'm saying we're going to take a 3-note chord, like a triad, and now that's our melody. It's a beautiful sound. I'm making a bass line out of this exercise. The exercise was to create a very simple fill on a C major 7 chord. The next step was to add harmony using an interval from below, like a third, a fifth, a sixth. And then now I've created harmony, like a triad, to harmonize the melody. And then I'm putting it in a bass line. There's nothing wrong with playing a bass line that instead of going like this, you go like this. Or it depends on the context of what you're playing. If you're playing with Taylor Swift, no, don't do that. But if you have like a trio, or you're playing more kind of improvised music, or music that's a bit more harmonically dense, it's okay to do this stuff. It depends on who you're playing with, etc. I'm sure you all know that. That was diatonic harmony. All the notes I was choosing were from the C Lydian mode. I didn't choose any notes from outside the key. Now, if you want to get into creating harmonized fills using notes from outside the key, you can take one chord type and harmonize every note with the same voicing. This is beautiful. So check it out. We go back to this. And before, like I said, I was using all diatonic notes. All notes from within C Lydian. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one chord type from the key, like A minor 7, this voicing, and I'm going to harmonize every note in the melody with that voicing. And because there's a structure that's so consistent, anyone's ear will be able to grab onto it and accept it. So I'll show you what I mean. Check it out. Here's the melody again. Here's the first chord, harmonizing the first note of the melody, being diatonic. Now I take that voicing and I put it on every chord. It's an awesome sound. So and what's cool is if you kind of resolve at the end there, you're going to get away with it even better. So I went from this and I resolved kind of to E minor 7. So now I have that melody. I'm harmonizing it with a minor 7 chord and then resolving to E minor 7. That's a chord from within the key. Let's take F sus2 or 159 starting on F. You can see that our melody note is at the top. And now I'm going to harmonize the melody note with that same chord voicing. So any voicing you pick, you can put the melody note at the top and repeat the voicing, and everyone will just accept it because we love repetition. It's going to work better, like I said, if you resolve. So I resolve to my C major or to G. Okay.